Hey, this is News 6 at 6:30, getting results for you tonight. Thank you for joining us live here on News 6 Plus. I'm Matt Austin. Ginger is on assignment. Let's get you to your forecast. To start, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. It was a soggy day out there, my friend.
My gosh, it's been a long time since we've seen a day like today. Look at this. These are the updated rainfall totals. It came in about an hour ago for the month of May. So this is going back to the start of May now. With today's rain, we set a record rainfall for the day in Orlando, in Daytona Beach, in Sanford. That puts us just shy of 8 inches for the month now. Bigger deal, look at the difference, the above normal we are in the rainfall department, near 7 inches above normal in Orlando. Everybody in the green. Remember April, it was way below normal. And of course, we've been way below for the entire year. So a complete 180. I do think we are going to dry things out, though, over the next couple of days. The steady and heavy rain from today, that is out over the Atlantic now, leaving us alone. We are seeing, and as expected, these downpours popping along I-75 and a few stray showers in and around Orlando. We're going to watch these not only for the rest of the evening, but then again into tomorrow afternoon. That's going to be kind of the last push of the system responsible for this unsettled pattern we've been in for the better part of the last week or so. We're going to pinpoint that and then talk about when we get back to the mid to upper 90s, Matt. Hottest days of the year to date coming down the pipeline in our 7-day forecast. We'll talk about that at about 6:47.
We are all over the map, Jonathan. Thank you. Now to a new shooting in downtown Melbourne. Unfortunately, it creates more concerns about safety. That's because it's not the first time somebody has been shot on a busy weekend after midnight. A man was killed on the dance floor of a bar in 2022, and the following year, more people were seen running away as fast as they could as gunshots were in the street. News 6's James Sparvero is asking police how much has really changed.
Delta 2, Melbourne, we got shots fired, Patient's gonna be really near the neon photo. We have a we have a 45 victims.
Watching this new video of people running for their lives gives me flashbacks to 2 and 3 years ago when businesses shared surveillance with me of shootings at 1 or 2 in the morning. Now I'm waiting to talk to Melbourne police about new violence downtown and just how safe they think going out late is now.
Our officers did hear the incident. They were on scene within seconds.
So bottom line, do you think it's safe for people to go out late night in downtown Melbourne?
I think downtown is as safe as any city of similar size. I believe that anytime you have a congregation of people that have disagreements in today's society, there's a potential in any neighborhood or any community for violence to take place.
Could you explain why you're recommending a manslaughter charge, not a murder charge?
We continue to investigate things, and as we learn more and as we can develop evidence to support a higher charge, those things can be changed.
For now, the man accused of killing Nathaniel Jennings, Stephen DeJuiced, just got a bond on that manslaughter charge. Initially at the county jail today, Judge Kelly Ingram was going to keep it at none, but then DeJuiced's attorney changed her mind.
Unfortunately, we have a death that occurred from this, and I also have to consider the safety of others.
This is not something that constitutionally that he can be held on no bond for.
DeJuiced's bond now is at $100,000. In Melbourne, Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, News 6.
A bill now heading to the governor's desk could change up how the state and local governments can respond when an emergency like a hurricane hits. It wouldn't just be immediate responses, though. It also impacts how a community may respond to issues the storm caused, like flooding and trying to put a moratorium in place, for example. News 6's Molly Reed takes a look at what this means for you.
Getting fast results for the folks who have flooded or been affected by storms is the overall goal of this bill. It's really to beef up emergency response after a storm across the state and get resources to homeowners faster as far as building and permitting. But there is a certain section in this bill that has Volusia leaders concerned, all regarding moves they're making to fix major flooding problems.
But it prevents us from tightening up on land use and changing zoning.
I met up with County Council Chair Jeff Brower right after he met with other Central Florida leaders, where the potential impact of this bill was a hot topic.
Changes in land use, whether it's agriculture or commercial or different levels of commercial. We've changed those. It could reverse that.
Now, this recently added section to the bill is what Brower and other local leaders tell me they need to keep a close eye on. For 1 year after a hurricane, local governments can't issue moratoriums or create any restrictive regulations or procedures regarding land development. It's also retroactive for any changes made after storms since August, which Volusia has made several.
Stormwater regulations we just passed just tightened up on even the low impact development. Even though it's all voluntary, it could reverse that.
And several cities here, like Edgewater, have recently enacted moratoriums within the last 6 months. The mayor of Edgewater tells me they're watching this very closely. Now, I also reached out to the senator who was originally sponsoring this bill about these recent additions to get his take on it, but I have not heard back at this time. In Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, News 6.
Hundreds of homes are expected to be built within Astatula's 3 square mile radius, but the mayor wants to put a pause on big development because the town's water supply can't keep up. As News 6's Emily McLeod tells us, some people are already running into trouble when they turn on the faucet.
What are your constituents saying to you about this?
Fix it. And the moratorium is the first step.
Astatula Mayor Zane Teeters is hoping for a temporary pause on residential development so the town can try to upgrade its existing water infrastructure. He says it would cost the town $1.8 million to upgrade its current system, which they do not have the funding for.
We're running into problems. Currently we have 350 homes on our water system, about 844 residents. And we're running at capacity. Our ordinance states that we have to supply town water to these new developments, but without improvements, we can't do that.
Hundreds of homes are expected to be built here in Astatula in the coming years, like here in Tula Park, where they're planning to build 175 homes.
We just recently had our first boil water alert where we actually ran out of water in our tank. Still don't know the reason why, but it happened. This is going to happen more frequently unless we improve our infrastructure that we have. And I don't know how I'm going to do that without the funds.
Bradley Winkie owns All Out ATV in Astatula. After recently working a 14-hour day, he says he wasn't able to use his water.
And I went to wash my hands in the sink in the kitchen, and there was no water pressure, and it just kept getting less and less. So I tried calling, the town, calling all the local stuff. Nobody would answer, left voicemails. So I was able to reach out to my mayor because I have him on a private contact, and he was able to get it going, but it took a couple hours.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So you got home at what time of night?
11 o'clock at night.
And what time were you able to use your water?
I believe it was like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Winkie says he would be in favor of the mayor's proposed moratorium.
I don't think our town has the structure to handle the people. I mean, not just our water, but everything here, our roadways, everything, our schools. I mean, we have 1 traffic light.
Tuesday's meeting will take place at the Astatula Town Hall beginning at 6:30. Reporting in Astatula, I'm Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, it's Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Let's see what's trending tonight. Special group of 143 kids from the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida will never forget this exclusive preview of Universal's epic Universe theme park. They got to check out the new park ahead of its grand opening on May 22nd. It was an epic experience for sure, with many of them hyping up the brand new Bowser ride. And here are some of the other trending stories right now over at clickorlando.com. Lawn Starter makes it clear Miami is the dirtiest city in Florida. Air pollution, water quality, and waste management all used to determine these rankings. Orlando is in the top 100 nationwide, but sits at 95. A wealthy businessman waged a war against gravity in the 1900s, and monuments to his crusade now remain at 2 Florida colleges. The story of Roger Babson, available at clickorlando.com. It's a fascinating story about a guy who tried to disprove gravity. Yes. Well, a testament to patience, passion, and 3 generations of dedication sits in the hills of Claremont, the legacy of Lake Ridge, producing award-winning wines and a sense of pride in this corner of Lake County. First, though, no one wants their stormwater fees doubled, but it could be necessary for one Seminole County community, the problems they face to reduce flooding ahead of hurricane season. This is News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're covering Maitland, Lake Nona, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Monday evening traffic alert. Now, if you're asking me, I don't think this is going to happen, but I've got to tell you anyway. So make sure you're paying attention. 417 scheduled to be closed overnight, right around Lee Vista for construction. Also looking for a closure of I-4 over at Kirkman. We also have some severe storms rolling through, so just make sure you're paying attention. It may or may not happen, but either way, I gave you the warning. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely, and I'll catch you in the morning.
Well, people in Winter Springs will find out if their stormwater fees will double. The City Commission is expected to vote on a proposal tonight to raise the rate from $5 to $10 per month. News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken is digging deeper into the problem and the proposal to raise rates.
Right now, there are $12 million worth of stormwater projects here in the city of Winter Springs that the mayor says have to get paid for and have to get done sooner than later. This is one of them. This is the notorious G Creek that flows right through the city. And pretty much anytime it rains hard, even on a day like today, you can see the water starts to come up quickly. In fact, much of this neighborhood was evacuated during the last hurricane because water was creeping into houses. So now the city wants to replace this culvert. Matt Reeser, you are the spokesperson for the city of Winter Springs. I had heard the city manager describe the current funding situation for stormwater here in the city as dire. Is that accurate?
I think you could say that. I think you could make a case for that. While it may be a dire situation, there is a plan, there is a process that we're trying to put into place to alleviate those problems.
Right up to here.
Winter Springs is now out of time. We've reported on this after major flooding across the city after the last several storms.
We had hundreds of homes that were underwater.
But the mayor and commissioners disagree on how to pay for it all. One commissioner proposed moving $1 million from the general fund into the stormwater fund. This is how that conversation went at the last meeting.
Do you feel that we have the money to be able to move if we had to? Let her answer the question. She's the one testifying.
Is it clear enough?
No. Testifying is another attacking word. Let's try this again. Try it again. You were really hostile today, sir. Because any rude language from you is going to be stopped. You're off your meds today. I am not on meds, and that's a...
Is that a viable solution?
Well, from a budgetary standpoint, we could move money. It would start some of these things rolling, but it doesn't sustain a program of consistent maintenance and cleanouts.
So at tonight's meeting, the commission will again discuss doubling the stormwater fee. Then they'll take public comment, so that's your chance to speak inside commission chambers, and then they're expected to vote. I should tell you that on average, a family, if this hike goes through, will pay an additional $4.50. It depends on the size of your property and its features, at least according to the spokesperson. They have now started streaming meetings live here. It starts at 6:30, so we put a link to it if you'd like to watch it at home right now inside this story on clickorlando.com. For now in Winter Springs, Eric Von Anken, News 6.
All right, now to a live look over Daytona Beach. Look at that. Now, okay, that's interesting for me to ask you about. Jonathan Kagas, good thing you're sitting right next to me. Look at that clear delineation. That's an interesting... I don't know what's going on.
It is, yeah. Well, we're trying to get some drier air back in here, so that might be what we're going on. I don't know what direction that's pointed. It looks like it's obviously pointed inland, further back to the west, and that's where we have some breaks in the clouds. All that mess we had today, I'm saying mess, it was certainly a soggy, ugly-looking day, but man.
But it didn't come with a lot of severe stuff.
Right.
I didn't see a lot of lightning out there.
Exactly, and that's the one positive thing that if we could keep some of that, I call it garbage, that leftover debris from last night, from the storms that we had Sunday night into today, that was going to be good news for the severe weather threat. Let me tell you, if we didn't have that, we would have been in some big trouble tonight where we have those storms starting to pop. Dynamically speaking, that's our wind direction changing with height. We were kind of set up pretty primed to have some really nasty severe weather, but there's a twofold component. We call it the thermodynamics, and that's with the energy that we have to build with those storms actually rising. When you don't have the sunshine out, we don't get much of that energy, so that kind of saved us for some pretty nasty weather rolling through this evening. Look at the rain we picked up today. Record rainfall in Orlando, in Sanford, in Daytona Beach. Picked up more than 3.5 inches of rain in both Sanford and Orlando, about 2.25 inches in Daytona Beach. Elsewhere in Mims, look at this, 3 inches. Almost 3.25. Ocklawaha pushing 2 inches. Port Orange, about 1.5 inches, a little more than that. Apopka, a little more than 1.5 inches as well. West Melbourne approaching 1 inch of rain with the rain that we had just today alone. Radar clearing out a little bit, especially around the Space Coast. A couple of stray showers around Rockledge right now. Watching I-75, slow moving downpours tonight trying to pop. And again, these are the ones that would have been able to get really rowdy this evening had it had been for the sunshine coming out, but we obviously did not see any as expected, and that's what kept things relatively tame on this second round coming through. Here's another cool shot again. You can see the sun going down on the other side of this shot here. Live look in Daytona Beach, again pointed away from the Atlantic tonight. Mid-70s, the breeze out of the south at about 5 miles an hour. Clouds and rain forecast through the evening. You see a few of those flare-ups coming our way. There's 8, 9 o'clock tonight, still dealing with a few scattered downpours. Otherwise, though, most of us are going to be on the quiet side, just that muggy feel as we continue to pump in some of that moisture that will help to get a few more storms rolling again tomorrow. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Temperatures tomorrow back to the middle 80s. Rain chances are still there, only at about 20%. Again, still have that residual moisture streaming through the Florida Peninsula. Otherwise, though, I think most of us are going to be on the drier side. 20% shot for a stray shower on Wednesday. bubbling up with the heating of the day. Otherwise, though, that starts our drying out stretch, and warming up stretch as well. Temperatures back to the low 90s on Thursday, back to the mid to upper 90s over the weekend, Matt.
All right, I've got some outdoor stuff I need to handle without our friend the rain joining me. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Keep streaming. We'll be right back.
I'm Justin Mormith.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Coming up in the morning, growing concerns about Central Florida's water supply.
Where some say we're already seeing the impacts of using too much and why finding a solution is not an easy task.
Plus your weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
In Lake County, there is a taste of tradition, 3 generations strong. It's where modern winemaking meets Southern charm. Talking about Lake Ridge Winery and Vineyards, News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden has a taste of what makes this place a Claremont fave.
Nestled among the rolling hills of Claremont, Lake Ridge Winery and Vineyards has been a part of the community since its doors opened in 1989. This winery has grown from humble beginnings to producing more than 2 million bottles of award-winning wine each year. And just like the grapes that produce good wine, growing a successful business like this takes time.
So my name's Christian Sloop. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Lake Ridge Winery and Vineyards. I'm actually the third generation family here at Lake Ridge, so my granddad actually founded Lake Ridge about 36 years ago.
Christian's grandfather is Gary Cox. That's him on a harvester in the mid-'80s. Before Lake Ridge was even founded, Gary's dad, Christian's great-grandfather, Boynton Cox, loved experimenting with winemaking. As a boy, he has fond memories of visiting his grandfather. That's Christian stomping grapes with his bare feet. Now, he walks the vineyards feeling generations of growth and history under his feet here in Lake County.
Right now, we actually only have 4 people taking care of this entire vineyard.
What? Lake Ridge spans an impressive 127 acres. It is the largest vineyard in the state. They produce some 330 gallons of wine each year.
Oh my gosh,
So
are
those-
these them?
Correct.
I'm familiar with the muscadine
Yep.
grape, and I can't believe this is how tiny they
Yep,
start.
yep.
Because they get bulbous.
Oh yeah, they get pretty massive.
Hard to believe, but these tiny buds on the vine will ripen into the grapes that will produce all that divine wine.
I honestly try and come out here at least once a day.
As we walk through the vineyard, Christian tells me he looks for clusters of grapes on each shoot to get an idea of what kind of harvest is ahead.
And we're counting 2 on there.
Mhm.
That's usually the average. If we start seeing any 1s, I start to get concerned. Any that have 3 on it, that's gonna be fantastic.
We're shooting this in April, and these will be ready for harvesting by August. While this is a beautiful sight, it's not easy growing grapes in fickle Florida soil. Too much rain, and it can actually water down the taste and sweetness of the grapes.
We set it up a little bit different on the weekends.
Lake Ridge Winery uses modern techniques in winemaking, including temperature-controlled fermentation in these giant stainless steel tanks.
These are about 5,000 gallons.
They are built to preserve the natural flavors of the grapes.
It's a lot of wine.
Yeah, it is.
Lake Ridge produces a variety of wines catering to diverse palates. Their Southern Red and Southern White wines keep customers coming back for more.
Pinot Grigio is described as semi-dry on your wine list.
Visitors at Lake Ridge enjoy tastings and tours led by employees who are more like family.
I'm Doug Maitland. I've been here for 19 years. When you come into the facility, I will show you the wines, give you a tour, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the wines that we produce.
And customers seem to love it.
Either non-wine drinkers or people that said they only drink dry wine and they fall in love with them and walk out with cases. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever to see.
Ginger Gadsden, News 6.
A lot of people don't even know you can grow grapes in Florida.
I know. It's crazy.
Turns out it's pretty good. Good stuff. Hey,
good
thank you
spot.
for watching News 6 at 6:30. You can stream News 6 Plus anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app. Remember, we break news at clickorlando.com, and we will see you here tonight at 11 o'clock.